What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. It is the 30th and final day of the month of April. Hit that like button, my friends, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. $0.0033 is the price, 7 hours, 37 minutes left in this month. What a move up you've had. You're up 43% essentially on this month. You know, if you can close here or higher, basically 43% on the month. Even if you close a little bit lower, I don't imagine that you're going to dump too much. It's a very, very impressive month. However, you know, you zoom out, it definitely puts things in perspective. You are just at another lower high overall. Yes, whoa, what just happened there? We deleted everything. TradingView's been glitching out on me, so forgive me if we're a little bit weird with the maneuvering here. Yes, you have broken out of your downtrend. As far as the downward sloping trend line goes here, yes, you have. However, you still have lower highs overall. You do have a higher high compared to this, but is it a higher high? I don't know. It's still, to me, it looks like a macro lower high. It's like here, you had a higher high compared to this. You know, here you had a higher high compared to this. It's still a lower high overall. This is a lower high than that. I don't know. Maybe it is a higher high, but even still, I don't think that you've done anything significant enough. I mean, this was a significant move, don't get me wrong, but it's not significant enough to turn the tide right now. Maybe, see again, I told you it's glitchy. I have to delete everything. Maybe it's significant enough to prevent you from going lower. Maybe you don't go lower, perhaps instead. Why? I'm so used to doing that. It just goes away now. It's so weird. TradingView is so weird today. I still believe that we will see lower prices. I still believe that we will even see new all-time lows and probably just so slightly new all-time lows. And then from there, maybe not rapid recovery, but a multi-year process, you know, in the next bull market where we do recover and we are on a path to seeing new all-time highs. I both believe Zebec is due for new lows and new highs given enough time. So that's where my head's at. If we're looking at this in the short term, though, we're definitely focused on the downside. That's absolutely the expectation. We've been bearish and cautiously bearish throughout this whole range, very specifically noting that the top was in on the day of the top, quite literally. So we've knocked this out of the park, been bullish throughout this entire range here, been bullish all the way up to here, cautiously bullish here, and then quite bearish since the high has been in. Knocked it out of the park, man. Can't tell me otherwise. Go ahead and look at any video that you've seen of Zebec since February that I've made. 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame here. Looking at this lower volume coming in, we do have a bit of a move sideways here. Had a little bit of a fake out move, but man, it looks like we're about to rip to the downside. I did say yesterday in yesterday's video, you know, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're looking to go short, I think it would be better, instead of going short from this area, to wait for it to come up, and then it'd be better to go short here, just because the risk there is less implicative. And what we're doing here, it's definitely implicative that Zebec's going to go break out to the downside, at least in my opinion. I'm very confident in that. And I did say from here that we could move up to, I think it was 0035 to 0038. We specifically at the end said, I think I stuck with that 0035 target, 0035 to 0036, but we made an exception for 0037 to 00375, and that's exactly where we went, right to the golden ratio zone there. It does seem, in my opinion, as if we have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder here, and man, if this is right, if this is an accurate assessment of what you're observing here on this chart, hold on now, that would then imply that our breakout move, if we're breaking the neckline here, our breakout move would take us, and probably at a rather fast pace, my friends, it would take us down to about 0.00262, effectively eviscerating the majority of the gains that we've had since the 21st of April, really for the majority of this month even. And it would likely happen at a very fast rate. What is that? What would that do? Let's just see here. From this point and down, I mean, that's like a 20% drop. It can happen, man. It can absolutely happen. We're not there yet, right? We're not at the point where I'm saying I was right, or that it's impossible to go higher. We're not there yet. It is completely possible that you still could come up. It is completely possible that the bulls, the perma bulls, the lovers of Zebec could laugh in my face. There is a chance that we could move higher. So again, it's still important to be cautious. If you are not financial advice, not a financial advisor, if you are going short or taking any leverage positions, make sure your tight Your stop losses are tight. They're tight losses, okay? But I'm pretty confident in this move down. I think it will be. And the thing is, you look at this on a daily time frame, it kind of looks like you have good volume, but we check it out on a weekly time frame. There's no volume, guys. You move up like this, you move up 160% with no volume, you're going to move down fast. You are likely going to move down fast. Absolutely. I mean, here, the first week after finding this high, I mean, 3 weeks later, you were down 55%. 5 weeks later, you were down 67%. Here, from a high to a low, 3 weeks later, you were down literally 35%. Here, from a high to where we are, it's only been 1 week, we're down 19%. Talking about going back to this area, 30%, I mean, we're right in that ballpark, right, of expectations, and probably more over time. Imagine we drop 67% overall like we did last time. I mean, that'll take us to a lower low, and then at that point, thinking about new all-time lows is not going to be so ridiculous, is it? Looking at this here from a relative low to a relative high, we've bounced off the golden ratio. We came all the way back up to the 236. It's quite the miraculous maneuver. You did not get above the 236, though. If you can close above the 236, if you can get above 0.00412334, wow, that's nice, 41234, you can get above there on a weekly closing basis, I might admit that I'm wrong there. I might have to. At that point, yeah, you might be looking like you want new all-time highs if you can do that, but I'm not there. I'm not sold. It's not my cup of tea. It can be yours if you'd like it to be. 1 hour time frame, coming back in, looking at this here, trying to assess what's going on right now. The RSI looks bearish. The stochastics are at the 50 to reject bearish. The MACD overall is, yes, say it with me, bearish. Yes, it is. 4 hour time frame. We look at this here. Wow. The 4 hour is actually bullish. I mean, if we're looking at the RSI, to be fair, it's bullish. It's been completely acceptable to be bullish at this range every single time for about the last month now, and probably even before then. I mean, we've been, about the last month, we've been doing pretty well, pretty damn well. Perhaps, again, perhaps we move up from here. Perhaps you do see another drive up here. It could happen. But in time, I mean, ultimately what would be happening there is that we had a nice reaction here, and then if we have a bounce from here and it's a lower high, we're having a lesser reaction and maybe even a lesser reaction. This head and shoulders pattern is still there, and the measure move would still be there as well. And again, that measure move, my friends, my lovely Zebec friends here, we're looking at this here. Your measure move would take you down to about 0.0026. You're at 0.0033 right now. Okay, so just be aware of that. What about the bullish divergence on the MACD? That's a good point, actually. There is some bullish divergence on the MACD. There is. You are getting lower closes with lower volume, but that's also kind of the dynamic of the head and shoulders pattern, is that the volume just dies off like this throughout the whole pattern. I mean, it quite literally is a perfect pattern in itself. You're at the zero with your oscillators. This could be a point to bounce, but again, I would think maybe you go up to 0.035, maybe 0.036, maybe there, a lower high than what you had here, something that would interact with these points of support for resistance, these points of resistance for resistance, if not even lower. You might, again, 0.035, 0.034, 0.036, any of that's possible. Doesn't mean that it happens, but if you're looking to short, you could short here with tight stop losses, or you could wait for some type of move and then go short there. Not financial advice, it's not financial advice, do whatever you want. Maybe just don't go short. But it's not too late to take profits. The one thing that I would say is this, okay, on the note of taking profits. If you take profits, if you've taken profits, you hopefully caught a move. We're at the low points here. I'm just going to go through the range of this last consolidation phase. Hopefully we caught a move that is up 20%, even at the lows. So 20% or more. Hopefully you caught a move that's 20% or more. If you bought at lower prices, even more than that. So good job. Don't go chasing something that's like 10% up. Okay, if you're taking profits here, take profits and walk away. Go to sleep for a month or two and see where it is, okay? I think that the best thing for you to do at this point in time, and not financial advice, not a financial advice, it's just my opinion based on my own experience, the best thing to do would be that if you see it pump, you'd be like, darn it, I could have made an extra 10% or 8% or whatever that is. Darn it, shoot. But be patient, because again, this is profit-taking zone. Don't take profits here just to buy back in at a relative high and then screw everything up, okay? That's the worst thing. If you took profits, you're done. You're done. You're taking profits because the move is done. Now we're waiting for the next move to be done, which is the bearish move, which you're just beginning. Months, okay? Months. there's bullishness on the MACD, but if you go lower, if you do break out from here, that bullishness goes away entirely. I'm not completely convinced there, but the MACD is probably your best. The MACD and the RSI, to be fair, are your kind of most bullish arguments, but the thing that we're looking for here, again, is a weaker reaction than we had last time. That will imply that lower we go. That's what that would imply. Daily time frame here, looking at this, we do have the double top bearish divergence on the RSI. You are actually right here with this higher low finding, oh, I didn't draw that the best, did I? You are finding support right here, which is pretty nice. That's my little baby girl. Higher lows here, finding support. You know, you could come up and again find resistance at that overbought zone. Don't get too excited if you do, okay? Don't get too excited. There is a chance, and I'm not calling for it, but there is a chance that you could even see a higher high. And if you do, what I would expect there is, again, you'd reject the overbought zone and you would get further bearish divergence. So even if, and I said this yesterday, I think it would be hilarious. It would be absolutely hilarious if we moved up like this, because, man, I would get so much hate. It would be maximum hate at the top. All these guys, all these, and maybe girls too, would be making fun of me, giving me hate, and then we dump. It would almost be better that way, I think. But and then you get a better chance to go short as well. But again, with the risk of this kind of a movement up, that is sizable from a low to a high. I mean, that's like a 20% or more move. If you are taking it upon yourself to go short here, you need to have very tight stop losses. You need to be aware of the possible consequences that could happen there. Okay, I'm not expecting that myself. Again, the call very clearly is that we will see a lower high in reference to yesterday's little pump, but anything can happen. I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Certainly looks like a head and shoulders pattern to me. Certainly looks like low volume in my opinion, and that we're going to go down, but time will ultimately tell, won't it? Stochastics do look bearish, but you're at the 50. It's a good place to bounce. The MACD is about to cross red. That could be bearish, but you could also bounce here. There's so many possible outcomes where you could move up a little bit more, move up a little bit less, just crash from here. But all roads, man, I don't care if you move up this much and then you move down. I don't care if you move down from here. I don't care if you see a higher high and then you move down. All roads are going to take you lower. They're going to take you lower, and inevitably below this low. So that is what it is, man. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Rejecting, I mean, you've got 3 days, 8 hours left. To tell you what, man, the best thing for you to do, the best thing that you could absolutely do, is to come back and close this week green, because if you can prevent this rejection off the overbought zone, there's at least hope. But if you close the week like this, rejecting the overbought zone, there is no hope. You're done. You're done. The move is over. Okay? And I already think that that's the case. I already think that the move is over. Stochastics are overbought. MACD's at the 0. Perfect place to reject. Hit the like button. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.